So first things first, guys, I always wanted to be rich and I've never been really in a rush to be rich. But overall, whenever you go on social media and you hear about a 14-year-old that just bought a mansion, you're like, yo, why am I a loser? Like, I'm in middle school and I still don't have a house yet, right? But in reality, when I started studying the rich, I realized that the average rich person is basically in their 50s. And I was like, well, what am I rushing for? Like, those people are usually the exception, people that basically get there super quick. That's awesome for them. But it doesn't mean that you're not being successful by taking your time and actually get in there. And that's why they call me the most boring guy on YouTube, because this is basically the way I see it. I'm not in a rush. I know it's gonna happen if I do the right things, and that's all that really matters. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you guys 5 questions that I basically asked rich people overall, and the answers I basically got that basically helped me get closer to financial independence and everything that I have today. That's the overall idea. And today, guess what? You know, I'm not the richest person out there, but I don't have any debt. I have enough money coming in where if I don't want to work, I don't have to work. I have an emergency fund fully funded, and I also have enough investments to basically cover my expenses, and I also have a paid off home. So I have what the average 50-year-old basically has at basically a fraction of the age, just by listening to their advice and applying it to my life. And that's all you need to really do. So overall, let's break everything down in this video. Now, as always, guys, like this video and top out, also subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified. Now, the very first question that I basically asked them, guys, was basically, what do you drive? You know, when you're super young, that's the main focus. When you see somebody in a Mercedes or an Audi or a BMW, you're like, yo, that person has to be rich. But all you really know is that that person spent money on a luxury vehicle. That person's either in debt or they just don't have that money anymore because they basically bought something very expensive. And what I realized that is that rich people, their main focus is not on badges of wealth, looking rich, looking the part, but their main focus is on quality and utility. So they look for brands that are very reliable. And right now in today's day and era, and by the way, as you watch this video today, remember, I'm making this video in 2023. So maybe in 2030, you're watching this video, but quality and reliability may have changed, so do some research then, okay? But right now, the best brands are going to be Honda, Mazda, and also, for example, Toyota. Those are the best 3 most reliable brands right now currently, according, I think, to JD Powers, if I'm not mistaken, but double check what I'm telling you guys so you basically know. And one thing I also learned is that, imagine this. Rich people, they pay cash for their cars. They always buy a used vehicle, and again, they focus on reliability. You can have someone that says, no, I want to buy a Tesla that costs $140K so I can save money on gas. But if you buy, for example, a used Toyota Avalon for like $30,000, very comfortable car, right? Maybe even a hybrid model, you get like 50 miles a gallon, and you basically get to save $100K in a price difference. So you need to basically spend $100,000 worth of gas, and that's gonna take decades to basically justify. So overall, use your head, be logical. Rich people are not buying the fancy things, they're buying things with utility and quality and reliability in mind. So the second question I would ask these rich old people was basically, what do you wear, okay? You would think that they'll be wearing, for example, some Rolex and some Armani suits, maybe Burberry, maybe a Gucci handbag for the wife. The answer is no. You can't spot these people because their wealth is invisible. That's a crazy thing. So what I mean is, by invisible wealth is that whenever you see someone, again, with something expensive, all you know is that basically they don't have that money anymore. And all you know is basically they have a pay either in cash or, for example, you just basically borrow the money to buy that thing. That's all you know. So what do these people wear? Guess what? They wear quality things, okay? They wear quality things, but they tend to wear, for example, Casio watches. The only reason I have an Apple Watch Series 7, which I paid $200 for used, is because I'm a runner. So whenever I'm running, I like to have more information. But is it needed? The answer is no. But guess what? It's not $1,000 or $10,000 Rolex, because again, they're not buying these things. And on top of that, whenever you see me with a pair of leather shoes that usually go for $160, the answer is the shoe is nice. It's great quality. I love it. And by the way, rich people tend to buy really great quality shoes. But guess what? They're not paying retail price because basically they shop at Macy's. So when I bought these $160 or $80 pair of shoes or whatever it is, I paid like $50 to $60 for them because I bought them during Black Friday. So I'm not an idiot. That's the whole idea, okay? So whatever you want to buy, it's not to say that the price justifies the quality. More than often, that's not the case. So you want to find great deals. Instead of buying a $1,000 suit, go to Macy's. They go like for $200-300. They're discounted. You buy those. Instead of buying, for example, a $1,000 watch that has, for example, a little crown on it, buy a Casio watch. What do you do with the difference? Invest that money into assets that make you more money. That's what you want to do. Number 3, where do you live? Okay. So the third question is, where do you live? You know, is it with the ocean view? Is it in a skyscraper? Is it in New York, in the center of everything? The answer is no. They don't live there either. Is it, for example, in these expensive homes? The answer is no, no, no. They buy an average of a home that costs like less than $300,000, which is not a lot of money relative to what people basically spend right now. And on top of that, they live in blue collar neighborhoods where basically they tend to be the richest out of all their neighbors and nobody really knows. And their kids tend to go to public school. So you might be thinking rich people basically just do whatever they can. In reality, no. A lot of rich people, what they do is they live below their means in order to basically build up their assets to then basically become rich. So who's buying these expensive homes, paying for these private schools and doing all this fancy stuff? The answer is usually it's the middle class. And that's why the middle class go in debt to try to look like something they're not, and they stay in debt forever. While the poor class, all they do is make money to basically pay bills. The middle class make money to get into debt, and they never actually do anything whatsoever. Okay, so that's who's paying for all of those things. But the rich, wealthy people are not actually doing that whatsoever. Blue collar neighborhoods, $300,000, public school, that's what they're doing. The fourth question is, what does money mean to you? And I thought the answer was, with money, I can buy whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I can just basically, whenever I want to do anything, I can just basically do it. No one can tell me anything. The answer is, that's not it. Even though you see financial gurus tell you, that's what money is. It is that. No, money for them is just independence. It's just freedom, is having security, is being able to use it as a tool to make more money, thus increase more of their freedom and more of their independence. That way they're not relying on anybody else to basically give them their financial holdings. So how do I apply this to my life? When I focus on making money, it's not for the sake of buying things or to do whatever I want. The answer is I do it so I can basically build more wealth, so I can have more security for me and my family. That's the overall idea. Now, number 5, and the last question that I would ask is basically, how much money is enough? And the answer is, the more you want, the more you'll need to work. The more you desire, the more you'll need to work. So if you have less desires, if you want less, the answer is usually less is more. So I could live like a king with $4,000 per month, but I could also live just fine with $1,000 per month, because the overall goal is lower your expenses, lower your cost of living, and this way you can have, for example, a lot more with less. So how does that look like? It looks like if you don't have any debt, you don't have any monthly payments attached to your cash flow. If you have an emergency fund, you're not at a whim of getting fired and losing everything you have. If you have, for example, an investment account that brings in more money than you basically have going out, you have security in that sense also. And lastly, if you paid off home, 1/3 of your monthly expense basically just is covered. So that's the overall thing. So that's what rich people do. They focus on basically actually being rich instead of, for example, looking rich. And that's why it's invisible, because when you look at someone wearing normal clothes, nice clothes in a sense, right? Nice clothes, but you don't really think much of them. In a normal car, you don't know that they have an investment account with millions of dollars, because they don't show you those things, because it's not to buy things, it's to have security. That's the overall idea. So when you see one of these videos on YouTube with a 12-year-old with a brand new car, a Lambo, and 4 apartments, the answer is, it's okay, that's awesome for them, but take your time. It's better to get there than to risk everything and have to start over and potentially not even make it anyways, okay? So be patient. On average, they're in their 50s. On average, they're first-time millionaires, so they did not inherit their wealth. On average, all they do is just invest and live below their means, okay? And they usually have like independent jobs and the businesses, okay? So don't be so reliant on jobs, although you could get there with a job. But it's to say, like, it's okay to start a side hustle on the side and see how that also can build into something else, okay, guys? But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Like this video, on top of also subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified, and comment down below job, so I know you made it all the way to the end. Well, comment down below rich. I think that's more appropriate for this video. Comment down below old. I changed it again. Sorry. Old. Delete it. I'm sorry. Comment down below old so I know you made it all the way to the end of this video. Up here is another banger. My face is here. As always, long-term team officially out.